So, about the saving and loading the game. First, I'm gonna edit the script, and then I'm gonna return back to set up the buttons and the canvases, event system, and all that. Uh, so, uh, for the saving and loading thing, we're gonna be needing one more special class within our class. So game class game, it's gonna hold just two public uh, float variables, and which are gonna hold the position, and because we are doing a 2D game now, just x position and epsilon of uh, our player. And in order for the values to be a serializable, they need to be public, and the class expects here an attribute dot serializable. Okay, so let's make an actual instance of this class. So game equals new game, just a simple default constructor, so that we're gonna be using it for our own purpose, that contains the position of the player. And this is going to be for saving and loading the same content of this class. A few more variables to declare. That's our string for path file, so this is a directory. Then a string for our JSON string, so JSON string, and we need to refer to our load button to disable or to enable, because not always we have a save file. Remember, when we start any game to play for first time, we don't have a save file, so the load button shouldn't be visible. When we do have a save file, that means we have something to load, and then the load button should be visible. So this is going to be public. We're going to be adding the button afterwards, and then we move to our start function to add some code, and I'm just gonna comment desired. This is a desired path. I'm gonna create a file path, which is, we want to be this, so might still not exist. We haven't created any save game yet. Okay, and the path would be path file equals application dot streaming asset path. So Unity has a special folder named streaming asset path that's gonna aim all drill down to the application folder to streaming assets. So actually we need to create this path, and the file of what we are saving, it's gonna be called save game.json file. Okay, so we have the path file, but we need to create in the project create folder and naming streaming assets, exactly as I type. Do exactly as I type. So this is a folder that Unity treats it specially. It has a given function in the application class. And then we're gonna set up the load button to false, to be inactive when the game starts, because remember we still don't have a save file, so set active to false. And we're just gonna say if we are starting the application but we do have a save file, so we started already and played some game and saved that game, and now we need to load that game, and actually the load button should be visible. So that we're gonna check that with simply file exist function, and we're gonna just check the path file. And remember, what's the path file is this directory with this file. If this file exists, that means this if condition is true, we have a save game, and all we need to do is load button set active to true. Okay, that's that in start function. And the next thing would be the save and game procedure. So I'm gonna do my best to keep it the simple as I can. So let's not confuse the previous part one. I'm just gonna create a simple two functions of load game and save game. So the first thing would be the save game. So public, because we are gonna be putting this into a save game button, public void save game, and here we're gonna get the variables of the player. So get variables, and remember we had an instance of game, so game.x equals this transform dot position dot x. This script is the player, and also the epsilon, and then we need to say like this. We need to create the JSON string. So JSON string is equal to JSON utility dot to JSON. We are converting to JSON, and what we are converting? We are converting it needs an object, and that object it's going to be game. This thing here, and Unity with his JSON utility class, it's doing his magic, converts the JSON string to look like a JSON string, and all we need to do is just with one line of sentence to write that down to the file, to the path file, this JSON string. So file write all text. Okay, so this if there isn't the this function, it's going to create and put all text to path file. Remember we have the path file save game.json, and what string? It's going to be this JSON string we just created. Okay, and since we now have a save game until up to this point, now we need just to enable the load button right here in this function. If this is true, that means we have a file, and if we have a file, the load button would be true, visible. activated. And that's all about the save game. Okay, I'm doing the best to not complicate the things, to understand how JSON and save game in Unity works. And now we're gonna create the load game function. So load public void load game, and here what we want to do is the reverse of this procedure here. So now we need first to get the JSON string. So JSON string is equal to, so now this time, file dot read all text. So this is going to check if it exists. I'm not gonna do the try and catch and open file, all of that. This is just a simple line that's gonna read all the text from the file. And remember, since the load button is visible, there has to be some file. Okay, that's why I'm not doing if file open, if doesn't exist. Simply if you don't have a save game, the load button, it never is gonna show up. So you're not gonna get any errors. And read all text from the path file. And then we just gonna do the main conversion. So game, we in the save game we put the information into the game, and now we need to read to the game. So game equals to JSON utility, again JSON utility, and now this time from JSON, but we need to specify the type of the data we are dealing with, and in our case is the game, to be converted from this JSON string as an input parameter. So what this does, this JSON string, we're gonna see in a moment, to be recasted as a game object, and put that all info, that correct info into game object, our instance here. And when we have that, we're just gonna say transform dot position. Our new position is now a new loaded position, so new vector 3 is gonna be game dot x. Remember now the new game dot epsilon, and we're just gonna leave the z to be the current z as it is. And because probably if you run now, you're gonna be with bug, because this loop whenever, always and always and always. So we need to set this move target to be equal to the current transform, that this new transform we get in the previous line. And that's it. That's for the coding part. So let's go back, jump in the scene, and create some buttons. Okay, so game object UI button, and since the canvas is overlay, we're gonna change that to screen space camera, and just adjust the render camera to our main camera. And this is the button. We need to scale this with screen size. Everything works. I think I need to add we need to add an event physics to the raycaster, or graphic raycaster. Yes. Okay. And the text would be save game with size 18, bold. Okay, somewhere in the edge. and I'm just gonna duplicate, rename this to save game button, and this one into load game button. Just retype the text here into load in the text component of the load game button, and just move down. Okay, and probably I'm just gonna create some color changes to distinguish the both buttons. Okay, maybe just a bit more. And these two buttons expects some function on this onClick delegate, expects some object, and that obviously it's going to be the player because we have the script on player attached, laser.script, and we just say save game. Okay, and on load we're going to do the same, plus drag and drop the player, select the function load game, and probably, if I'm not forgetting something, we are all set to go. So file save, and we have a streaming asset, and we have nothing here in this folder. So when I press a save game, it should create a JSON file here. So let's play. Or that we don't have. Oh yeah, we just in a moment we forgot to put the in player this load button, so that to reference the load game button. Okay, let's clear this and just replay. Okay, we don't have any error. Let's just play, and as we see, we don't have a load button, we just have a save button. And let's say we save it right here, this position right here. So just we are saving just the position. So we press save, and immediately the load game button showed up, which means we should have in streaming assets, there it is, the save game file, savegame.json. And if we open this with Notepad, you can do with any text editor, we clearly see that there it is. The x coordinates is 1.75 minus 2.030. So let's see if that's true. Yes, this is true. 1.75 minus 2.030 and so on. So as you see, the saving works. And now if we just move a bit and then resave again, I have to press the left button to save game, and now this is the current location of the save. Now the save game is actually overwritten. And let's see. Actually, yes, now it has a different value, so it works. It's just one file again, so it overwrites it. Let's stop this, and now let's try to load this. So if we press play again, and now just go here and then just press load game, it loads the game at the previous saved position. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, how to build lasers, how to move the player attached with the laser, a little bit of JSON files, loading, saving. So please subscribe, watch my videos, and see you on my next video tutorial.